See, I was with my cousin one night, and he'll verify. We were both pissed at the bar when Bigfoot walked by. Well, my cuz looked at me and I back at him and I said, fuck, I wouldn't have thought that he'd have got in. Now, perhaps we'd stared and staring is wrong. Also, perhaps we'd stared just a little too long, but we'd never seen a beast so big and so strong. Well, we were staring at him and he was staring back when my cousin's voice said, what the fuck are you looking at? The Bigfoot just stood there. His gaze didn't crack and growled, I'm looking at you before I snap your head back. Not a moment in thought as Dick rose from his seat. Car park, right now. You and I need to meet. I stood to protest. Dick said, she'll be right, as he led the Bigfoot into the night. It looked like a freak show as they walked the path. 7 feet led by 5 feet, 5.5. Should I go out? Should I wait here? Oh, Dick said he'd be right. Hey, buddy, another beer? With that dispersed all thoughts of the fight and of my cousin out in the night. Excuse me, wrong beer. Mine's heavy, not light. But thanks, mate, for the Butte beer on this Butte night in this Butte place you have here. No need to mention, that's quite all right. How do you think your mate will go in the fight? As simple as that, priorities back. Wondering had my cousin died in the attack. A chill down my neck, a creak and a crack as in strode the Bigfoot back from out back. His eyes locked on mine, lips curled to an evil grin as he sat down at the bar and ordered a double gin. Now, one-on-one was Dick's rule, and heed this rule I tried, whilst my mind was wrestling images of nights we'd laughed until we'd cried, and how tonight he may get his childhood wish, hospital stay, ambulance ride. Oh, barkeep, please call AAA, my mate's still outside. Said barkeep did grab the phone, but before you could say AAO, someone yelled, here he is. Geez, mate, how'd you go? No other sound as Dick White walked in, nose askew, blood on chin, and a gait akin to rap dancing. He looked at me and I at him. You look a bit rough, mate. Do you need a beer, Shags? No, I need a rain check and to zig where I zag. With as little as that, he turned on his heel and walked up to the Bigfoot who snarled, you here still? You should clean yourself up or you'll get thrown out. Dick said, you should stand up and get knocked the fuck out. Needless to say, the freak show marched on in the blink of an eye. The talking was done. Hey, buddy, another one? Which then dispensed of thoughts of the second fight for my poor cousin out in the night. Make this one a whiskey, not beer, heavy or light. And thanks, mate, for the Butte cheer on this Butte night, this Butte place you have here. No need to mention, but all the same, thanks. Do you think your mate is in with a chance? Well, I swirled my whiskey, and as my thoughts swam around, I said, Dick says a fight should last more than one round. I thought over this as I looked toward the back, but Dick had never been subject to a Bigfoot attack. A chill down in my neck, a creak and a crack as in strode the Bigfoot back from out back. His eyes locked on mine, lips curled to an evil grin as he sat down at the bar and ordered another gin. One-on-one was Dick's rule, and heed this rule I tried, whilst my mind wrestled images of my cousin dead outside. As I rose from my seat and did toward the back stride, oh, barkeep, please call AAA, my mate's still outside. Again the barkeep grabbed the phone, but before you could say AAO, someone yelled, fuck, here he is, back for another go. The bar then afforded silence, a new precedent, as in staggered my cousin, 3/4 pissed, 7/8 spent. Oh, I think you should have a drink, Dick. Oh, I think you should sit down. Nah, but I think I'll pull the uppercut out in the next round. No other wasted breaths. Not another word was said. He just turned again, walked straight up, and noogied Bigfoot's head. Fuck me dead, snarled Bigfoot. Won't you ever learn? Dick replied, I've been learning all the time, and now it's your turn. Once more the freak show walked out the back. Once more I was about to panic attack. Light, heavy, whiskey, 10-4, buddy, come back. Before I could say I might sit this one out, sat my cousin and said, can't, mate, it's your shout. Now, there still are Bigfoot sightings, and although it's true they're rare, in the wrong pub, on the wrong night, you may meet him there. So,
A Moses McCready original poem.
We've got a poet laureate in the house.
A tribute to a recently...
That's the first.
Yeah, well, it's a tribute to a recently departed cousin of mine, probably passed away about 18 months ago, Ricky. About a run-in that he had with a certain Indigenous bloke at the Winter Sun Hotel in Mildura. But it's a bit of a reminder that them little blokes sometimes might have a little bit more feist in them, I guess, you know. So it's more championing.
Is that a new poem or something you wrote a while ago?
No, something I wrote a while ago before he'd passed away even, and every now and again I'd get requests for it at camps. We'd be camped out somewhere. Smelly, come over here, do that Bigfoot thing, So, yeah, the boys used to like it. The boys who probably wouldn't read poetry used to request it every now and again. I dropped it at an open mic poet night day at the Dan O'Connell in Melbourne with my daughter in tow. And as soon as I left the little podium, I took off before anyone could tell me whether they liked it or hated it. But the daughter said, "Really proud, Dad." I said, "Well, that's it. We win. Let's go. Go and get some Mexican."
That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's it. So, no, Ricky Rawlings, dearly departed. And, yeah, it was just a moment
I
to...
was going to say Ricky sounded like he didn't learn his lesson.
No. Well, he didn't get punched to death. So, but there were lessons. And it's another one too. Actually, I'm not speaking out of turn. At 16, the parents were all camped up the river. One bloke was too drunk to drive his car. "Ricky, you take the car and the boys. I'll jump in with your dad." Through circumstances, Ricky rolled the car. Kid died in the accident. Parents put the responsibility onto the kids, and it kind of bit him in the arse and sort of levelled his life pretty much. So, which may have then led to his early downfall and departure. But a bit of a life lesson for a few people. But
No, that was good.
Yeah, no, he's only 6 months older than me, and that's where I used to go for my school holidays. That's where I learned to drink, smoke, drive, ride motorbikes. Everything happened in Mildura for this guy when he was, probably 13 to 16. So, yeah.
A Moses McCready original. You've heard it here first.
There you go. Never thought I'd do it, but, subject you to that. It's pretty indulgent. But
So
anyway.
this is a episode thing now, is it? Is this the new challenge?
Oh, geez, I don't know. I opened up a box of stuff last night that I wouldn't bear to read out.
Okay.
So, you never know. No telling what's going to happen. But no one's suggesting any new challenges. So at the moment, I'll just make it up on the fly.
There you go. We're out of musical challenges. So until we get some more, we might be dealing with Moses's poems.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I've got some lyrics I could probably give you and see if you can find some guitar in the course of a fortnight and work something together.
Oh, I like showing up and having a surprise. So.
Yeah, no, there you go. Surprise.
Welcome, episode 22.
Yep. Hey, yo. There you go. Just in case anyone was missing it. Episode 22, where we're looking at a different magazine again.
Different magazine, something different. Australian Muscle Car Magazine, issue number 129.
That's it.
Before any of that happens, general business. I suppose we've sort of taken care of that in our little poem chat, but I suppose we need to thank Dave for coming in for last episode. It was a good chat.
Yeah, last episode was a cracker.
Do more of that. It's been good. We've had a few people on this year already, so it's been good.
Deep inside Dave Guilfoyle. Just remember we had a title for that.
First in-studio guest too.
First in-studio guest, yes.
Yeah, no, that's epic.
So we've got plenty of car nuts in Ballarat. I don't think it's going to be hard to get.
We've got a couple of Skype guests booked for upcoming episodes and that too. We're starting to move along that line. So
yes.
Good thing.
We're working on a special one for our 1 year birthday, I suppose.
Yeah.
We'll keep that under wraps for now.
That's it.
We've got basic confirmation. We'll tee it up in the next couple of weeks and get that one happening. But anyway, any car updates? There's not much to report here. This is going to air, I think, around the 28th. So the Chev would have had its roadworthy.
Yep.
We'll wait and see what the outcome of that would have been. This whole timeline thing really stuffs with my brain.
I can't imagine it's going to need much for a roadworthy.
No, fingers crossed. Hopefully I can just get it and get some new club plates on it. But
Ryan's
anyway.
Old School Mechanical, shout out.
Yes, going to Ryan's Mechanical. Took it in to see Travis the other day, and he can't really see any issues with it.
Yeah, no, good hands.
I just had a little note. Once again, it's this timeline thing, but Drag Challenge has been and gone, and for anyone who does follow, I suppose you say the King Mutt, Bruce Howie.
Yep.
On his journey, he's been the Drag Challenge, and he's made his way up to is it up Queensland way, and he caught up with a couple of legends up there.
Northern New South and stuff before heading inland.
Dado Mouse, and of course, legend that is Brett Abraham.
Yeah.
And it just got me thinking, it's like, all this sort of started, this podcast, like we met Bruce once, we met, caught up with a couple of other guys that are fans of the Thong Slappers, and it's just funny how all this started just from one little show, two blokes talking about a car magazine, and I guess we don't want to forget where our roots lie, and I just think that Simo and Redmond, I don't think they realise how much they sort of, I don't know whether it affected people or how much they inspired people just to reach out and talk to, get to know people, and just so it's just more of a throwback to the Thong Slappers, and without the Thong Slappers we wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't know a lot of these people that we chat to, maybe not so much in person, but just just the communications over Instagram and that sort of stuff, and these.
It seems to be opening opportunities.
They're good. They're just great people that you would never have ever thought to meet.
Yeah, and Simo was saying too, like even when he hears back, stuff about claps or some of the vernacular that he breathed into the car culture, and he hears it echoed back, and it just makes him smile, But blokes are a bit of a weird species too, I mean, we've got lady followers and bloke followers, but blokes just seem to connect under these banners like really, really easily and comfortably, But
just watching, Brucey's trip, we ran out of fuel, and everyone's commenting on it, and then you see him up there with Brett and Dado Mouse, and I don't know, it's just cool. Like, I don't know whether those three actually know each other outside of the Thong Slappers. I'm guessing they probably don't. I don't know whether they're old friends from way back, but
even a posting from a while back at a pub with, Simo and a few others all sitting around a table, and you get jealous. You see those moments and you wish you were in that bloody photo,
So anyway, thanks again, Simo and Redmond, the Thong Slappers, what do they call it? What do they call it? Australia's first and only dedicated streetcar podcast.
Streetcar and wanking podcast.
I suppose we could say we're the Australia's second dedicated streetcar podcast.
That's it. I think we played around with that right at the start too, working out how we fit into
sloppy
that
seconds. But anyway, that was just my little thought of the day. I thought just what the events of the last couple of weeks. It's just we've got to hark back to those guys, and
we definitely grew in fertile ground. Like, downloads. You keep an eye on numbers ever? Or?
We're knocking on the door of 8,000, I think. So that's pretty cool.
Thought that might have been heading that way.
Getting there.
There you go. Well, that's general business we could take care of outside of recording, I reckon, too, probably.
Yeah.
What about Roaming Moses Day 1?
Roaming Moses Day 1.
Didn't see it.
Oh, sorry, the actual...
Because we normally know how many listens
the numbers, to be honest, I haven't... I didn't have a look. Let's have a look.
Oh, well, I'll discuss... We'd actually bought Australian Muscle Car magazine, the last issue, and we were going to review that issue until the new issue was revealed with the cover car, which apparently was wrapped by Dave at Custom Craft, which...
Yeah, so we thought we'd jump on and...
so we thought we'd jump on and celebrate it, but I'm going to, while you're looking that up, I'm going to say that for the lengthy article that's in there where you learn a whole lot about historical military operations and all manner of things, because he's celebrating his father and grandfather, no mention of Custom Craft.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit odd, but anyway.
They were omitted from the details.
Roaming Moses, Volume 4.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe an oversight, but it's a bloody big article.
Roaming Moses said
you've mentioned it now.
51 downloads.
I thought we get to shout him out, you know, so it seems relevant. 51 on
51 for Roaming Moses, so
that's not bad. I don't mind that.
Good.
Yeah, especially when it's, mostly just me.
They also, they're all...
haven't got the mate there to prop me up, you know.
Okay.
All the podcast sites sort of say if you're getting sort of 100 or so in the first week, thereabouts, you're doing all right. So we sort of average around that 70 to 100
in
the first week. Cool. So anyway, that's cool. We're not here for downloads. We're here because it's fun.
No, just
Australian Muscle Car, and I guess I mean, look at another magazine. It just keeps my mind ticking and going back to how good a value Street Machine is.
Yeah.
Like the content you get in Street Machine compared to all these other ones. I know it's different. It's different,
Yeah.
but you're still getting a magazine and you're still paying $11 and
I noticed not too many ads in Street Machine. Would I be right in saying that they
no, they have a few up
keep...
the
you
back.
get some magazines and it's just every fucking second page is an ad.
Yeah. No, they don't. Like and they sort of, the ads are relevant, I suppose. Like I remember when we looked at those other ones, those old ones, like there was tobacco and Navy was huge. Like the Navy would have 3-page ads in the old ones, but you see, car, speed shop ads and.
I found a bit of content in here though that would be also at home in Street Machine, like the Sydney drag racing scene, that sort of thing too.
It's just just a different style of magazine, but I guess I'm not knocking the magazine. I'm just saying that we're I think we're a bit spoilt for what we get in the Street Machine.
But now I've definitely got some positives that'll be reflected through our review.
Anyway,
as well, so.
Good cover. I do like the cover.
And one positive for Australian Muscle Car magazine is that I bought a copy. Actually, bought two. Bought 2 copies. Bought the copy we didn't review, and
we bought 2.
So we bought 2, and I don't normally buy it. So
I haven't bought it. Like I said, I bought the first 8 editions, and I sold them on eBay because they were getting massive dollars. So I think I got $150 or something for issue 1.
Yeah,
something like that back in the day. So those proceeds went to my first Fender Telecaster.
There you go.
A good cause.
So anyway, let's move on. I guess there's no real categories when we're looking at other stuff because it doesn't really work. So we've just got a whole heap of honourable mentions.
But you mentioned initially maybe we might buy each other a car and buy ourselves a car from the Burns and Co.
Yes, where is that ad? Where is that ad?
Well, see, I didn't even realise there was the bigger ad because I just found the 2 little columns that were on the 2 pages before it. So page 10 is a good point of reference.
An auction update, but there was,
and then the ad's a couple of pages over.
Yeah. So did you pick anything from the ad, or did you just go to those columns?
No, well, it didn't matter because I picked them from the columns,
and they were in there.
But then when I went to the ad, I couldn't actually upgrade from what I'd already picked. So
right. What did you buy yourself?
I bought myself that purple XA GT sedan up the top.
That's funny. I bought the same car
for you.
Yeah. It's hard to go past the Wild Violet with white trim.
Yeah, don't tell me you bought me that bloody SLR 5000.
I did.
Well, I bought that for you. So there you go.
You blokes are too similar.
Bloody hell, that's a bit freaky.
Them bloody Aries.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a bit crazy.
There you go. No, that's unreal. And again, like that was only picked out of the 5 that were in the column, but then when I went over and I looked at the whole lineup,
I was nearly going to buy you the Sundowner.
Yeah, and
I thought that was a bit of you.
I hovered around the Sundowner.
And then I sort of was thinking about that 46 Ford Mercury, but I thought, no, that's just way too obvious.
I hovered around the VJ hardtop. But
what's that red vintage looking thing on the other page?
Mercedes Benz.
Merc, is it?
There's a 28 Chev.
No, on the right page.
Up here?
Yeah, that
52 Mercedes 170 DA.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Benz. It's a bit cool, though.
I'm a big fan of the old Benzes.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That was a pretty cool little experiment.
Yeah, no, that's it, definitely.
I don't mind that gunmetal grey HQ Monaro either with the
same too,
with the orange stripes.
But cool. The more I looked, it was just definitely the purple Betty XA and the yellow Tirana that got me over the line.
Wild Violet with the white trim is just it's the combo to have if you're going to get one. That'll go for big dollars, I reckon, just for that trim.
Yep.
Is that the colour that Dave's cars are?
No, his is actually called purple. PURRPULL.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's not a metallic. It's just a solid. It's sort of like a grimace colour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Well, there you go. That was easy.
Well, while we're talking purple cars, we could probably look at page 12 at the XB with the Continental roof, the purple one, the white Continental vinyl roof.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. What do I have about that? Yeah, and it was band transport for the band R-rated. So
R-rated.
seen them rolling around the suburbs in that purple XB.
Dislike that colour. Anyway, that's me.
it's not quite there, is it?
No.
It's a bit washy.
A bit pastel.
Yeah, pastel.
Well, what do you got for your first little mention of the magazine, mate?
I mentioned I went to page 8 for the classics of Phillip Island.
Yep.
They were saying there was a huge display of XU1 road cars there, but those cars completed 2,000 to 2,500 Ks on a cruise as part of being there at the island, which, in a world of people who are a bit precious, once they get to 200,000 or more, leave them parked in the shed. But it's good to see a whole heap of muscle cars out cruising, I guess.
Be a good event to go to that, I reckon.
Yeah, well, you've been down the track fairly recently.
I love Phillip Island. I know it's just a cool place.
Yeah,
cool. It's a great track. One of the better tracks, I reckon, just in the world. I think.
Yeah.
Such a long straight.
Yeah,
I've never seen cars go. Well, I've seen cars go round it like just normal track day stuff, but seeing the bikes go down it, it's absolutely amazing.
It's even fun on, buddy.
It's mind bending how quickly they.
Yeah, it's even a glorious drive on PlayStation, I think.
Never played it on PlayStation. But to I suppose to cross over from that, one of my mentions was the Phillip Island, the story on page 70.
Yep.
Which was a story about that event, I think.
Yeah, and I don't mind that too, where they'll have a little bit of a feature or a photo, and then the article will be elsewhere in there.
That bottom photo on page 71, you've got the Skyline, the Sierra, XD. I think it might be. I'm not sure about that. I'm not up to speed with the beamers. You got the two beamers, the early model M3s. I'm guessing the big V12 cat up the back.
Yeah,
a couple of got a Group C VH.
Yeah,
VK, another Jag, another Beamer. Oh, and you've got looks like John Player Special 6 Series up there.
Yep.
That's just a good. That's a good time there.
It's a hell of a good time. There's some really cool stuff in amongst those.
I reckon that'll be on the cards to get down to at some stage.
Well,
and a Craven mild Tirana.
Yeah, the old Gricey Tirana. But and I actually put down there for those pages 70 and 71. Photos discuss.
Yeah.
So,
and another photo down here, the orange Tirana with the little RX2 behind it.
Yeah.
Nipping at its heels.
Yeah, no, that's a ripper.
No, it looks like a good time, that does.
The HQ coupe with the bloody 69 Mustang up its ass.
I like it.
Yeah, no, that's it. Definitely. 69 Camaro as well. We'll keep shouting them out. Yeah, so no, that's a ripper, mate.
Well, that crosses one off. That's easy.
Yep.
What do you have next?
There's on page 12 where that purple XB was. Let's tack something else on. So, I'm finding multiple things on one page.
Yep.
Down the bottom, we got the EL GT down there.
Yep.
Which, Blake can't not shout out an EL. But
they were an ugly looking thing, weren't they?
Yeah. But they're talking about the test track being in Glenbarry Road and not in Barry Road. But then he talks about how that pretty much that factory then became later Pro Drive, Ballarat Connection. I used to deliver Albans transmissions there for the V8 supercars not so long ago. So that was just a weird little sidetrack mention.
Yep.
I
guess my first big pick was the story on the Skylines. Now, I am a fan of these early Skylines.
Yeah, no, the NSVD, NSVD story on page 30.
Silhouette. I reckon there's one or two nice ones in Ballarat of these things.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing them when I was, when they came out, and I thought, they were a good looking car. And the thing with I didn't realise, and I guess you just get it ingrained in you that, all these SS's and cars like they just put a body kit on them and some mags, but this thing had a cam and had an oil cooler and bit of extra grunt compared to the normal one. I don't know. I just really I don't mind those early Skylines. I don't mind Skylines in general.
Yeah. And back reflecting to the content of this magazine too, like if you're into Skylines, there's 11 pages of there's 11 pages of content.
It's
there.
one thing with this mag I did notice, and the length, the stories jam packed, like big stories. But like there's a picture of one there in front of a V. I don't know whether it's Brocky's VK. I don't know. It doesn't look like Brocky's VK. But they raced them.
Yeah,
raced the Bluebirds. Remember the Bluebirds?
Yeah.
Like they were insane. But yeah, I just and I know what you're like with synchronicities and numbers. I just found it funny that page 31 was a story about the R31 Skyline.
Oh, there you go. Well, I found it intriguing too on page 32 that they're built in the old Volkswagen factory, which is also where they built 180Bs and 200Bs and Bluebirds, which is where HSV take up residence now. And again, I used to deliver stuff there too for Albans.
Here's a little side note. I didn't even know VWs were made in Australia until not that long ago.
Yeah.
I thought they would come from the Deutschland.
Yeah, well, they sort of did development too on a Pintara wagon and stuff, worked in with Japan who didn't have a wagon. And, like we've been contributing to that side.
I just like the fact that, someone had a go at, hey, let's take these cars, let's do our own little spin on them, let's make 200, make them something a bit special. And, like, it wouldn't happen now.
Yeah.
It's that mass produced now, like even like an SS Commodore, like it's just a V8 Commodore with a thing. Like I think you could probably order just a normal Calais with the same motor.
Yeah,
like,
I know what you're saying. Whereas I reckon the best thing would be to order the best engine upgrade in the lowest car. Like
well, you can't do. You just can't do that anymore.
Nah, you used to be able to do all kinds of things like that.
Yeah.
See the Skyline police cars on, buddy.
Yeah, they were a Tassie thing, I think, weren't they?
What's that?
I've read a few stories about them.
Tasmanian and Victorian police forces. It says.
I did read a story. Some might have been in a Survivor Car magazine. There's actually a policeman actually wrote in and said, "I drove these things and they were fantastic."
Yep.
Well, they're basically a Nissan's answer to the VL, I guess, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like, same motor.
Yeah, they did share an engine. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Did you read the way they got the name?
Yeah.
Yeah, named
I didn't
by
know
legendary Nissan engineer Shinchino Sarure after Aussie Outback Horizons.
There you go.
He thought of Aussie Outback Horizons and he called the car the Skyline. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But I said it was an extensive walk through all things Skyline, pretty much, So
yeah, no, it was a good read.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's still, I reckon there was one at the Car Talk meet.
Yeah, I think
the other
there was.
week.
Yep, definitely.
And it's a really nice rig. And people forget they raced at Bathurst before the Godzilla. Like there's I think Seaton.
Yeah, no,
not Scafie.
Yeah, Scafer. Yeah, Scafer race Skylines.
Yep.
And it's just crazy because all that was just condensed into 4 years. There's Nissan racing developments. It was a 4-year concern, and that was it, all over.
Yep. What did you have next, mate?
I've put a bit of a special mention on the Ray Berghaus pairing of the Monaro and the Mustang.
The Monaro and the Mustang. Yeah.
I'm getting to it, mate. I'm just fumbling words. Page 50. Just the stable pairing. The fact that the Monaro's a heap older, but he'd rather be driving it. And I mean, we wouldn't consider them an old car, but being that.
No, I was reading the story. I don't think I've ever been in a Monaro, but obviously got the Mustang, and I definitely understand what he's saying. Like, I don't know. I was never a fan of this Monaro. It never looked right to me. I mean, it's a nice car, but
it was interesting.
I guess that's where they get the nicer ride, I suppose.
Yeah,
from it.
Interesting when he was saying too that like he hasn't seen one with stripes that he actually liked or appreciated.
I don't mind
that the styling doesn't really lend itself to it.
I think I don't know whether I think they did. They put the like the HK style stripes on the yellow one. I think it was just for a show car. I think that actually looked pretty good. I've seen a couple done since.
Yeah, no.
But what he was saying about the seating position, it's a two-door car made for four people.
Yeah.
The Mustang's a two-door car made for two people. It most definitely is. You're virtually sitting on the back wheels.
Yeah. Well, you can get three on the back seat, I think, in a Monaro too. But then they had
it's pretty tight.
They had the other. Yeah, they'd be tight. But then they had the other one, which only had buckets in the rear too, which was the HSV.
I had a baby seat in one once. It was most uncomfortable trying to get the kid in and out of that thing.
We've got a baby seat in the Mustang. But
Mate used to love two doors, and his missus was about to have a baby, and someone drew a comic on the wall at our house of him bloody smashing its head into the bloody door frame of a hatchback Tirana. Trying to put the baby in, belting its head into the roof.
But yeah, it's a pretty cool stable to have, though, I must say.
How good's the poster over the page, mate?
Well, I actually put the poster as tough shot.
Yeah, no.
Actually, I took a tough shot, and that's a great picture.
Yeah, well, Brenny C had sort of said to me that he went off this magazine a bit because they keep, the way they produce it sometimes, it's as if there's only one track in existence in the world, and that's Bathurst, and they just constantly celebrate Bathurst in this magazine, which I'm okay with that anyway.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, it is
when you've got
the Holy Grail,
when you've got the 5.8 litre XB, and you've got the 5 litre LH, and then you've also got the bloody 3.3 litre Tirana, all within inches of each other in the same corner. And we're not talking lap traffic or anything. We're all racing competitively together. Well, that's pretty amazing. That's a good spread.
It's a good picture.
Yeah, cool shot.
But the livery with the later Falcons and Commodores, you're nearly struggling to pick what they are by the time they put all the bloody sponsorship all over them. You
can't tell. That's the thing.
But there's not much mechanically that separates any of them either.
Nah, they're all the same bloody car. And the Toyota Corona advertisement.
Yeah, well, Chisel Nose has raced at Bathurst.
I put that down as a tough shot, so that's good.
Yep.
My next one was page 72, and this brought back some memories. This was a story about the Oscar, Jim Richards Oscar rebuild, and that was a good read because I remember going to these things when they came out, and it was a good time. I used to enjoy going to the Thunderdome.
Yep, restored by former Mick Webb gopher and Troy Perricon.
Yeah, so he was sort of involved with the car as a younger bloke, and he heard that the car was for sale, and he's got it back and restored it back to how it was.
Yeah, that was really good.
It's pretty cool that the moulded seat is still the seat that Jim Richards actually had made for him, which was pretty cool. But
yeah,
just that picture down the bottom, I can remember sitting there, sitting in those grandstands, watching them. And it used to be able to take a transistor radio, tune in the AM or FM frequency, and they'd have the commentary.
Well, the once and only time that I went, we drove through into the centre and sat in the centre.
Yeah.
In the car. Like you just sit in your car if you wanted to.
Yeah. That was a cool thing.
Yeah.
It's sort of a shame. It's just ruins now.
Yeah, well, this article's querying.
Yeah.
This article's actually querying because of a couple of other cars that are fronted up too now that whether there's going to be a historic Oscar return, whether they might historically race Oscar classes.
I think the track's pretty bad. I don't even think. I mean, I went down there. Mum and Dad bought me the laps. I think for me 21st or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the company that done it. They were in VNs.
Yeah.
And that was awesome.
Yeah.
It's bloody amazing how steep those walls are when you're actually in the car.
Yeah.
But I don't even know whether they do that anymore.
Yeah, well, it says up here, with a couple of Oscar Commodores having resurfaced to take on the old Jim Richards Falcon, are we witnessing the start of an historic Oscar movement?
They'd want it. They'd have to redo that whole track. I think.
Yeah, but you could do that. It's only surfacing. If
someone
someone was keen, if there was money behind it. But if these cars are starting to get a bit of a tidy up and starting to come back on the scene, they're going to want to race them somewhere. But they're possibly not that far removed from racing together in touring car.
No, well, I did read somewhere that they've got like road racing that they're going to use it for, like not road, like track racing.
Yeah.
they've set up the wheels and all that different. But it was just took me back to sitting in those grandstands watching them go around. It was, and you could see why over in the States, like it's so huge, like stock car, the amount of people that go to Daytona and the likes of that, like it's huge in the States. It's on another level. But, it's good to watch.
Yeah.
People go, oh, they just go around in circles. It's like, yeah, but they do, but you gotta actually watch what's going on. Drafting
been watching a bit of
robbing, bumping, nudging.
Been watching a bit of Cletus McFarlane dirt track and stuff that he's been doing lately, sort of thing. And at one stage, he just wasn't on the pace enough to be riding high up enough in the track, so he's down in amongst all the crap down the bottom. But you got to just overcome your fear, and the harder you go, the old centrifuge, you push further up the bank. But it was interesting.
All I can remember was. They came out of when we went for our little laps. They sort of came out of the pits flying, and hit that first bank. And it was like being on a roller coaster. Your head just went like the G forces hit you because the car's pushing into the corner, and you're trying to hold your head up. It's like wow. Yeah. Imagine doing that for like 100 or however many 100 laps they had to. Where did I see the time? They said they were lapping in. I should have wrote it down. They did say how fast they were going around the track. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was bloody quick anyway.
Hard to track down detail like that in such a lengthy article. I'm just looking at numbers, because numbers pop out of the text pretty easy generally. But
yeah. And also interesting that they, the big Falcons were allowed to run the 351s.
Yep.
To compensate with their extra size.
In an XF. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's cool.
Ford should have taken notice and put any 351s in XFs.
Yeah, they should have. Anyway, that was my next one. What have you got, mate?
Slot cars on page 82.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool little... I probably should have put this in, but I thought that was cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
I didn't realise they were still such a big big deal.
Yeah, it's a bit the same too. I suppose you can't recreate Bathurst. I don't know whether slot cars can go up hills, can they?
Of course they can.
Up and
go
over
walls.
Yeah.
Reading this thing, it's like people wait. People are waiting each year for new release slot cars, which I didn't realise there was such a big demand for.
So they're like Scalextrics.
Yeah.
They're cool.
They're re-releasing some
GDRs and
XU1 replicas and stuff this year.
XY cop car down there. No, it's good. Even the Red Bull Commodore.
Well, they say that every slot car set's not really bought for the kid at Christmas.
Yeah, that's it.
For the dad.
I've got no doubt.
Yeah. No, I only had one. I didn't have a Scalextrics thing. Yeah. I had there was two Trans Ams that lit up. The whole track sort of glowed.
Yep. Yeah, I remember those.
Typical 80s thing, had a jump.
Yeah.
But they never landed.
Were they Tamiya? Were they made by Tamiya?
It could have been, I don't know.
Yeah, they couldn't land the jump.
They never landed they never landed.
It's almost impossible, isn't it?
But all the railings around.
That's it, yeah, you've got to try and get that drop straight in the groove on the other side.
All the railings all glowed in the dark, and the lights of the Trans Ams used to light up. Yeah. And it had like big arrows where they would land. The track was wider, to try and get in, but I could never get him to land. I used to sit there and put my finger in front of him and do burnouts in the yellow. Little black marks on the yellow.
Get that smell, that electric motor smell.
I remember Dad coming, you'll break your cars doing that, burn the motor out. It's like, oh, okay. Anyway. Yeah, no, slot cars are cool.
Yeah. Page 84 went to Beefies and Shelfies.
Yeah, I had that down as my next one. How cool would have Brickies would have been?
Oh, hell yeah.
And once again, you just can't get away with that shit anymore.
No, that's it. But I've sort of found a couple of pieces in here that I sort of highlighted, but just trying to find out because I mentioned some superstars that would have been out there too. Got some starring moments. Another big long article.
I reckon if someone had a...
Here we go. These reports of legitimate stars of organised racing using the Brickies concrete quarter mile also included such names if the confessional postings on these websites are true, as Kevin Bartlett, John Brudelin, Paul Hamilton, Herb Neal, Peter G. Hogan, and the aforementioned Barry Sharp and more. So people were out there honing their skills that'd go on to racing.
I reckon if you had a bit of cash stashed around, you'd probably do all right if you made a bit of a retro restaurant, a bit of a car park. The way the car and just the car culture is getting, a drive-in burger joint like that would probably do all right in today's
roller skating waitresses.
Yeah.
Well, I must have had a reason.
Be like Jack Rabbit Slims.
Yeah.
$5 shake.
Yeah. I must have had a reason at 3 o'clock this morning to mark some of these passages in here, so I'm just going to go on and read them and assume they're going to make sense to me as I do it. But most especially at Chiefy's, there would be a crowd of young kids lined up along Parramatta Road exit from the car park, particularly on Saturday or Sunday nights, and it was expected that anyone leaving would spin the rear rubber, smoke the tyres and fish tail up off the old concrete Parramatta Road surface. Not a few of these exiting vehicles ended up going out of control, not a few, slamming into the battered roadside gutters or occasionally into a power pole.
Mustang?
That's it, Mustang style. And activity at Big Chief often extended to dumping of oil at the exit of the car park, and crowds would gather along Parramatta Road to watch the consequences. We're talking back in the 60s.
As soon as I read that,
early 60s.
I can remember people doing that down at
Curtis Street. I remember people doing it in Geelong, but it all kicked up in the 60s, So our parents can't hold us accountable because they started it.
Yeah, that's right.
I reckon. So trying to handle loss of traction, blah, blah, blah. Look at over here. One of the regular races at Heathcote was an army sergeant stationed at the nearby Holsworthy barracks. Apparently the sergeant ordered his men to mark out the length of the Heathcote strip using ADF military coordinate pegs. Under Australian government law, these army coordinate markers are above even police authority. The New South Wales Police were legally unable to remove them. I like that. That was a beauty.
Yeah, I really, really do love this old history stuff. I reckon it's cool.
Yeah. A lot of guys would go out to Heathcote Road. I can remember Barry Sharp with a Repco-engined Holden that belonged to someone, and the Hurstville mob, Hurstville Incorporated they were called, with a 3-litre Austin Healey, had a big race at Heathcote Road. I think the Healey won. They were doing speeds of up to 110 mile an hour, which was quick in those days.
Yeah. 100, what's that in Ks? 180, 190?
Yeah. 180 something, I think.
Yeah. That's fairly booking even today's.
Yeah, one guy who grew up straight across the road from Beefy's site was hot rodder and drag racer Dennis Lyon. Basically, we were young teenagers who progressed from push bikes to our first cars and hanging out at the local milk bars, and the world changed for us when the first drive-in burger establishment opened on Parramatta Road. It was the first drive-in hamburger place in Sydney, and the Big Chief place up near Granville was second a couple of years later. And those guys that used to hang out there became Shifters Hot Rod Club.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it sparked racing careers. It sparked hot rod clubs and social clubs, and so.
Yeah, I don't know. I reckon it's just a good article, and I reckon if you had the coin, or if I had the heaps of money, I'd probably make something. I reckon like that.
That'd be fantastic.
It'd be cool.
Yeah. Dennis Lyon proposed to his wife there, mate, over a coffee. Drag racer Jim Kerr met a lot of contacts who'd play a major role in his drag racing life for the next 60 years.
If the roads could talk, eh?
Over a burger and a few skids. Yeah.
No, that was a really good article.
Yeah, and again, and to forgive a bit of the indiscretions on the roads and stuff too, there was no drag racing scene in Sydney at the time. And I think that's what sparked it, because the crowds were just growing to the point where someone kind of had to step up then and support it. Okay, we'll get these guys money if we build a track. So, good stuff.
Really good.
Yep.
I only had one more, and that was the clubby, the cover car. That was a good story.
Yeah, definitely. I had a little bit on that, I reckon.
As we mentioned on the was it on Instagram? I think it was, or Facebook. Dave Green from Custom Craft did the did the wrap on this one, and it looks great.
Yeah.
Bit of a hark back to wartime family members.
And it's not just coverage on. Yeah, I'm going to say it's not just coverage on the car. It's about it's got military operational stuff in it as well, and it's sort of it's an historical piece.
Yeah, all the markings relate to some kind of back to the warplanes and that it was just a good article. Pretty tough car. It was turns out it was a bloody smashed clubby. It's actually a proper club sport.
Statuary right off.
Getting raced around, so that was pretty cool. Yeah. And there was a bit in here about the major sponsors aren't even on the car.
Yeah, no, I saw that. They agreed not to have their sponsorship
which is
on
pretty
there
cool.
to keep it pretty much traditional to what it was going to be. Yeah,
pretty cool.
It's cool.
But yeah, just good photo set. I'm not sure who did the photos, but
and it seems totally relevant that we get to do this magazine, so we get to make sure that custom craft gets shouted
out. I actually thought they would add a mention, but
it surprised me. I read it 3 times looking for it, but they
had to change the wheel and tyre package to get it in for the legal for the racing they were going to do.
Yep.
So it does look a bit odd with the smaller wheels on it. I'm used to seeing clubbies with the massive wheels.
Yeah.
So they must have to change the brakes because the brakes wouldn't have fit on those.
Yeah,
there was something about that.
Yeah, no, I did say something about it.
I did read it, but I sort of crammed it last night.
I was a bit the same too, but I did see mention of the brakes. I just want to quickly go back, though, to the Brickies and Chiefies article, page 90 and 91. That roadster up the top there. Yeah. The roadster up the top in that photo. That's just cool, as that's just a traditional cool hot rod would be cool today. On page 90 up the top there. We've got the Camaro with its flares. Got the Cuzzo on the trailer behind the tank fair lane. They used to take that tank fair lane up there, and if there was any of them worth racing, they'd go back home and get the Cuzzo because that Cuzzo, which they call Gindvik, apparently had the legs that a lot of them didn't have.
Moon discs.
Yeah, and the custom Cuzzo sitting down the bottom, with the moon discs on it and the bloody, a bit of a custom grill treatment. That was cool. But and that's what I mean when I said earlier that there's stuff that I found in the Muscle Cars magazine I would not have expected to find in there, stuff that I might have even seen, like I'd imagine this article in Street Machine.
Yeah.
So that was the crossover as I saw it.
I think they're all sort of starting to do a bit of crossover. Like Unique Cars is almost turning into another Survivor Car magazine now.
Yeah, I see Survivor Car magazine shared something the other day to get a bit of controversy. I can't help them. I can't leave them alone in the comments.
I didn't see it.
Well, they know that their bloody subscribers or people who look at their page are going to attack these custom Street Machine builds.
Clickbait.
Yeah, it's almost like they just played for it, but they're bringing disrepute and disgrace to the culture. So, pull your heads in, Survivor Car magazine. post what you're about.
I got a funny feeling they probably don't listen to us.
Never know. Now, on page 102, the historic photos there I thought were pretty cool. Just a bit of historic racing photos.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so the 6-hour Le Mans at Caversham in WA, that was pretty cool. And the opposite page, that mini fastback with number 8 on it.
Yep.
I remember one of them from when I was a kid to the point where it really tugs the heart a bit, I don't know whether it was in a buddy before I was getting into American car books, whether it was in something UK based, and I just saw it as being a little custom, but a little slanty back mini there in a world of minis.
The minis are pretty damn cool. I'm a fan of them.
Yep.
Especially if they're done right. Like you see that gold one next to it with the bigger mini lights on it.
Yeah.
That's
a cool one.
They are a cool car. I've only been in one once. A fella I know was doing one up and he took it to work one day and I sat in it. It's like, well, they really are small.
Yeah.
Like you don't. Hence the name.
Yeah, well, that's it.
But until you actually sit in one, it's like, yeah, they are tiny.
Yeah, they could call the new one the Maxi, but it sounds like
new Mini
it sounds like a sanitary product.
The new Mini's just a name, like I've got a funny feeling they're based off a golf or I know they would have been crossbred with something.
There'd be shared platform.
Everything's crossbred now.
That gold one you mentioned there too, though, it's got some sort of custom painted roof as well, I notice. It's got me smiling.
Yep.
But same, I mean, people who are into minis are either into circuit racing ones, custom ones, you know.
I reckon you get one of those Works minis, I reckon they'd be so much fun to belt around the track.
Oh, mate, Nev.
Cooper S, I reckon they'd be hell of fun.
Be like a go-kart, zipping around.
Mate in Ballarat had an XB GT, a white one in Ballarat, but he also had a mini, and he was working at Repco in Melbourne, and out the back was a mini race car workshop. So he bought the whole setup, motor, gearbox and transaxle in one, and put it in his little 850. I remember my L34 headed bloody HQ coupe at one stage trying to shake him off me tail as we're heading across Ballarat from one end of the town.
You won't shake him through the corners and stuff. It's the big long straights where they die.
No, it screamed. It'd pull hard too on the straights. And if you watch some of that early Bathurst footage where they just run out of brakes at the end of the straight, you know, they've got to shoot off the end, do a quick little U-E and back on the track. But we pulled up the lights in Sturt Street one day, and there was a guy in an 850 with P plates on it, a little blue one, and he's looked at us with a bit of a smile, and Nev's give him back a bit of a smile, and this guy left the lights and got halfway across the intersection when Nev hit it, and I reckon we had smoke pouring off the front tyres in second gear as we passed this guy heading through. But yeah, she was full race spec running gear. But you could smell fuel in the cab because you can't run a Speedo because the second SU ends up in behind the Speedo. In the car. So, yeah, constantly smell fuel in the thing. Page 104, really comprehensive directory of events. Which is good to see.
Car clubs.
Yeah, car clubs. What's on in April 2022. Yeah, so the club directory and then the events on the next page. And the back page feature on the Oldsmobile 442. Yeah, they were saying that they weren't using big taglines or anything in their advertising. They had the hidden persuaders and then just a list of features. Where everyone else was getting a bit blatant in their marketing, you know, like they just kind of kept her a bit subtle. But
other thing that they're front wheel drive.
The Tornado was.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was the other thing. I remember.
Tornado, is it?
Yeah, the Tornado. Yeah. I remember. What's his name? Who's the comedian with all the cars? Jay Leno. He had a little bit of a video of him doing up one of those olds. Such a weird looking bloody thing.
Yeah.
They're certainly different, the Oldsmobile stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I like different.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it.
It's a good little ad too. See, Dave Green's been printing a few old ads too and stuff. So yeah, custom craft.
Talking about different, like I've saying nothing wrong with different. Like I was watching the Backyard Bill guys video last night.
Yep.
They went to Chrysler's on the Murray and geez, some of the Chrysler stuff was out there.
Yeah. Oh.
It's like some of it's so ugly you just have to like it.
Yeah. But a lot of it's just super elaborate and flashy, you know. A lot of the stuff
it's full on.
Chrysler Newports from the buddy 50s and stuff like that, you know, they're pretty elaborate cars.
Just on your last page on the ad, I'm having another Mandela effect moment.
Yeah.
So in the universe that I've just come from, Scalextrics was always SCALECTRI and the X was at the end. I don't remember it ever being Scale X-Trick.
No, I think
Scale X-Trick.
Yeah, I don't think. Right.
Wasn't it always Scalextrics?
Scalextrics. Yeah, no, I'd believe it.
Maybe they're being taken over.
As you're explaining that, or is it some sort of offshoot of they just tried to start their own? And
it could have been
for a similar event.
They'd be,
do some Google and see whether it's changed everywhere.
Yeah.
Berenstein Bears.
Jamie, can you Google that?
Yeah, you Google that for us, Scotty. Yeah. Got Berenstein Bears while you're at
it. Anyway, that's the Australian Muscle Car Mag.
Yeah.
It's good to read something different again.
Yeah, no, it goes
We need to think about something else to read.
And I really kind of struggled because of, I suppose, those lengthy articles. You know, there's not much of this that I've read. You know, there's plenty I can go back on and reflect on, you know. But Paul Kelly, a bit renowned around the photojournalism scene, he was sort of shouting out that Brickies article and thought that might be a trigger. They might start covering a few more areas in relation to that.
Some good stuff in there. And as we say, it's always good to do something different. So think of something for next month now.
Yeah.
Might go back in time.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind pulling out a couple that I've had since I was 14 or 15 that you haven't seen maybe. And
happy to do that.
Do a review across some performance street car or a bit of street and custom stuff.
Music chat.
Yeah. I don't have anything fresh.
Nothing fresh.
Scotty? Yep.
Scotty's always got something.
I keep going back. It's one of those bands that you just keep going back to.
Yep.
Funeral for a Friend.
Yep.
I haven't heard that name for a very long time.
Post-melodic hardcore punk.
Yep.
I've heard of them. I haven't really heard much of them, but I know the name.
They haven't released an album for a while, but I just keep going back.
Yep.
So if anyone's interested, it's worth a listen.
Yeah, no.
First two albums are pretty old now, but they're fantastic.
Good stuff. Don't mind a bit of old punk. I started watching docos about,
Well, it's more hardcore.
Yeah.
Metal, but...
Yeah, on the metal edge of punk.
Yep.
Yeah, no, don't mind that. I was listening to a bit of Rise Against the other week too. I hadn't listened to much of their stuff for a while.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I reckon
they never get old.
They were really treading that line.
I think
between...
they've just got a new song or album out not long ago.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, but they're sort of treading that line, I reckon, between metal and punk, like sort of, nearly, but he's close, right down the middle.
There's a fine line there sometimes.
Said to Lisa at uni, they're way too pretty to be punk, surely. Like it was doing me head in at one stage, because they were just fucking so well polished. But...
Well, yeah, I've sort of gone back. I found out, been coming for a while, but I can't remember his name. Esteban Oriol is releasing a doco on Cypress Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Esteban is a photographer around LA. There's actually a documentary on Netflix about him. I think it's called LA Originals.
Yep.
So he'd follow Cypress Hill and all those guys around, just take photos. He's sort of like a Chris Cafaro type guy.
Yep.
You've probably seen that LA symbol with the chick's got the hands. He took that photo.
Yep.
And everyone's ripped it off. So that's his photo. But he's got a Cypress Hill documentary coming out. So I've been going back to my Cypress Hill days. Back to rap for you, mate. Last month it was Snoop Dogg. This time it's Cypress Hill.
Well, in conversations via messages with Scott Kenny, and he agreed to not only that he loved Bloodywood and he loved Electric Callboy, formerly Eskimo Callboy. He didn't get much out of Snoop Dogg either, and he said he loved hip hop from the 90s and stuff. I sent him through a link to 99 Problems by Ice-T. And he just straight back at me, love it. Probably just enough time to listen to it.
I'm surprised that's even allowed to be played.
Yeah, probably just enough time to listen to it before he sent me back, love it. So that's pretty cool when someone's on the same path.
So, I've sort of been cranking back through Cypress Hill. Probably their second album's probably my favourite. Probably everyone's favourite, Insane in the Brain. Hits from the bong.
I might buy you a bloody DJ setup, mate. And if I'm going to keep digging through me lyrics, nothing.
Nah. You could argue that that's almost borderline new metal. Some of that Cypress Hill stuff.
Well, they actually had a metal album.
Yeah, you're an enigma to me. Like you're a metalhead, but you're also
mate, I like anything. I'll listen to anything.
Nickelback.
Nickelback can get fucked.
Thank you. Oh, Christ, I was about to hang up me cans.
Don't hassle the fickle crack.
No, I'm not a Nickelback fan.
Come on.
No, that's all right.
I like what I like and I hate what I hate.
Sorry, you're on mute then, mate.
Can't believe you love Nickelback so much. Chop his little bit out.
Yeah, it's gone. It's on the floor.
It's probably not so much that I hate them. It just...
They didn't add anything.
I don't know. There's just something about it. I can't take that
Two
singer.
same?
I don't know. The singer just... I don't know. I can't take it.
Yeah.
Can't. They have the potential to be good, but I don't know. I don't know. I can't explain, and it's there's that many memes about Nickelback and all that sort of shit. But yeah, I can't explain why I don't
Chad
like
Kroger
them.
just sitting there in his little mansion going, "Oh, for fuck's sake, AO, come on, why?"
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure
Chad.
Chad's
I don't know why, and then we just.
I'm sure Chad doesn't give a fuck
up to it.
And then we just
probably.
And then we
They
just
don't care.
You know,
They
all these people don't like us. Can you just? What's our bank balance at the moment again?
yeah. Well, who did Simo make cry?
I can't remember. Oh, you too. He fucking hates you too.
Does he? Well, he's a man close to my heart. I dislike them almost as much as Oasis.
Plankman Racing, we're putting up memes about Bono and stuff after it, you know.
It's like you with Oasis. Like,
yeah,
I
there's something about them.
I listen to Oasis and I think, how the fuck can someone not like this song? Like, go and listen to Some Might Say.
Look,
go and listen to Some Might Say and just tell
I can listen to the music and it's quite good.
Yeah. It's the brothers.
It's them.
They're fuckwits.
They're knobs.
They're fucking idiots. But
that's the problem. But there's so much weight on a vocalist to do the right thing and toe the line.
I was going to buy you a ticket. Liam Gallagher's coming to Melbourne.
I say that.
I thought I might buy Scotty a ticket. I have figured out which one's which now, though.
Yeah.
Noel plays the guitar. Liam sings and plays tambourine.
Yeah, but I think if you're the bloke that's up there, up the front, using your voice, and then you turn out and say a whole heap of bullshit no one wants to hear, then eventually people are not going to want to hear you sing either.
They were completely mental, and they probably still are, but fuck, I love their music.
Yeah.
I still crank that live at Knobworth and Nebworth. That's a cracker. But anyway, this is why we're all different.
Yeah,
Life would be fucking boring if we're all the same.
Oh, hell yeah. You know, not everybody can pick the same two cars out of a bloody out of a Burns and Co ad.
That's pretty fucking freaky. So, anyway, that's it for another podcast.
Yep.
Said we've got all going to plan. We'll have young Cody.
Yep.
On the phone, we Skype on that one.
Yeah, no.
We just got to work out. We might have to record that ourselves, depending on his work commitments. But that's all right. We'll send it to Scotty. He can clean it up.
Yeah, no, that's it too.
We'll work around that. But yeah, looking forward to chatting to a young fella.
A young fella coming up through it and being noticed.
He's not in Ballarat. He's out of town.
No, he's in South Australia.
Yeah.
Well, he's not coming here then, is he?
Not coming here.
That's it.
But, so looking forward to that. But anyway, stay well.
Indeed.
We'll see you next month.
We're just all just petering out.
It's like a fade out. Out of fade out.
And like one of my favourite ads from the 80s. See you later.